Hey, Watagon, bonjour famille. It's your boy Bump Jonas representing for Sprinkle Some Salt Podcast. Now, I know, just like yesterday, we got a special Friday edition of a segment we like to call Conversations from the Cardiac. So, as I also like to say, see that L right there? Shoot that motherfucker out like a kite. Now's the time to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let them know we're going to be topping with Bam Keith, y'all. Not to be confused with Bam Bam or Bam Bam Bigelow or anything else, but he do be knocking out beats. So, we're going to find out a lot more about him. Appreciate everybody tapping in. It's your boy Bump Jonas. Sprinkle Some Salt Podcast, Conversations from the Cardiac, tell a friend to tell a friend. Got a couple moments here before we start, so I got my blunt. I got my questions. What's good? What's good to my man? I don't even want to say his name, but I'm going to say, little afterthought, that fool was happening. Appreciate you tapping in. He said Friday. I love it. That's right. Hope y'all having a hell of a good Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day to those that celebrate, you know what I'm saying? I got my green because I like bud and it represents well. I like the colors. As always, you know what I mean? Shout out to hip hop, 50 years of hip hop this whole year. And as we get ready, I don't have a label because this is my personal, but I want to make sure I take a moment to shout out to our number one sponsor at the time. Well, she's number one because she's our one. We have several spots available, but our number one sponsor, Thrash Stop Pastry OG, the Canna Chemist. I'm going to sip on a little drink here, keep myself hydrated. You know what I mean? And pay attention to me as I go through this. See if I get fried. But hey, nothing for sale. Simply suggestions of how to spend your time. What's happening? What's happening? Hey, Joe Allende's in the building. Even if he pop out, y'all make sure y'all pop over and see what's up with him. Stay hydrated, y'all. Stay hydrated. That shit is fire. I think that's a giggle juice. Oh my goodness. So yo, about to get my blunt fired up here. Almost 420. Back to basics with Chris. What's happening? Appreciate you tapping in. They actually have a page called Braids with Chris Dion, I believe. Make sure you tap in. If you follow the page or if it allows you to follow, it will definitely get you over to the braid company or the braid section where all kinds of fly shit is over there. So if you have a need for braids, you're in the KC area, make sure you tap in. But yo, salute to my man Satellite. All right, y'all. Just a few moments here. I'm going to go ahead and send it over. Oh, man. Bam. Keith, y'all. So, just a quick little housekeeping. All right, so number one, I try to wave to everybody as you come in because I want everyone to feel acknowledged. I appreciate you being here. You don't have to be here, and you don't have to stay very long, but a lot of you do stay for the duration. And if you don't, and you're watching this afterwards, I appreciate you and thank you. Now, if you see me throw a salute up there, that's me acknowledging you as you joined in. Otherwise, my focus is usually on the person that I'm interviewing, all right? A lot of times you may have questions or comments. Throw them in the chat. Please engage others, engage us. You know, if I can get over to it, I will pull up the question. But there is a question box that you can use as well if you have questions for the guests. When it comes to this segment, and of course, you can go to the link in our bio and get all of the behind the scenes and all the full depth of Sprinkle Some Salt itself as a full podcasting network. But when it comes to Conversations from the Cardiac, happy 420, y'all. The point of this segment is really to highlight the background of the artist, the context, because it's super easy to say, click the link in the bio, right? But what I want you to understand is some of the context as to why they want you to click the link. Maybe there's some reason besides, oh, you like the music. There's so much music now that isn't really the selling point anymore. Maybe you like the fact that they like Coco Chris, or that they don't cook and they'll admit it, or that they didn't learn how to read until they were 13, or they taught themselves how to read music by the time they were 20-something. You know, those are the kind of things that I want to connect you with. So that's why we have these conversations from the cardiac. All right, that's enough small talk while I light this blunt. I normally wait until the artist or the guest is here, but it's 420 and it's St. Patty's Day. Are y'all lit yet? So, shout out to my man, Satellite. I have to pick on him because he's here in the room right now. How is St. Patrick's Day when it comes to the UK? Is that amazing, especially in Wales that you're in? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My man said most eloquent opening I've heard in a while. Hey, I'm no Inspector Deck, but I like to lead off right. Yes, bars. I like that one. But yo, a few moments here. We'll get my man going. I sent them the invite. It's right at 4:20. Not a big deal. I had to get the blunt rolling though, just cause I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner. I'll take a little sippy poo. That is some tasty business, man. Shout out to Thrax Pastry again. Nothing for sale. Simply suggestions on how to spend your time. Nice stuff here. See, I hope y'all have tapped into some of the other episodes. We are going on. God, we're running right into a whole year now of conversations from the cardiac. So one every Sunday. We're definitely at like 50 some weeks now. So I appreciate y'all staying tuned. Appreciate y'all tapping the fuck in. There's my man, Bam Keith. All right, before we get started, real quick, I asked a quick question how St. Patrick's Day is handled out in the UK. My man said it's quite big in the UK. Cardiff will be packed. The Irish and Welsh are closely connected culturally. All right, so it's about to be lit. I hope y'all are getting lit tonight, but do safely. Please be safe and take care of each other. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Give me another little sip in here. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Bam Keith, but you should have, because most folks within KC have heard of him, and you're going to find out why.
Had to make sure I
Hey, yo!
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, man? Peace, God. Peace to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. Shoot, I got my little green on, on St. Patrick's Day. People, I see a lot of people, celebrating, holidays like this, even though it's in this time, it's after COVID, it's after everything. So, I had to do my little representation though, man. But like, what's up though, man? How you doing?
I feel it. I'm good, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Hey, first and foremost, thank you so much for giving us your time. Thank you for being gracious and rescheduling with me when I needed to adjust times. So for those that are here, for those that are tapping in, y'all, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your boy Bump Jonas. I'm having conversations from the cardiac with Bam motherfucking Keith. You could say Bam Bam, you could say whatever, but you better put a check with the Keith and get it together. I heard that. So,
I like that,
hey, so I appreciate you tapping in. The way this works, man, I like to mix it between personal and professional. So we're just gonna go around the board, have some fun. I really want to make sure people get the opportunity to get some context behind who Bam Keith is. And then we can click the link in the bio, right? So,
yes, sir.
Right off the bat, I want to ask you, Fruity Pebbles or Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch.
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you. You just make me
yes,
contribute to science. I appreciate you. All right, bet. Nothing against Fruity Pebbles. Our sponsor, the Can of Chemist, Thrax Pastry. She's a Fruity Pebbles girl. I'm a Captain Crunch guy, so we've been, researching.
You got it. You gotta, yeah. You know what I mean? Like once you pick that, man, you ain't going back, man. It's like Captain Crunch, man. That's like that's
I love it. I love it. All right, so here's my industry question, like the most corny question I can ask. Who is Bam Keith? What do you do and why?
So, who I hope to convey the Bam Keith is just an all-around creative, an artist, a producer, an engineer, even a marketer in some senses, hopefully, that's like what I try to convey. So, hopefully that's who Bam Keith is. But if you just ask Bam Keith is a musician, man. I'm just like, Just someone who likes to mess around with music, man. That's like my thing.
So, okay, you said Bam Keith is a musician, and then actually that was a really, really good elevator speech where you put it all together. Like, all right, this motherfucker can do a lot. Hold on, let me get the checkbook and see what we can do. But um, so what you said musician. So do you play an instrument, or what qualifies you as a musician? And I mean that
Yeah,
respectfully.
no, for sure. No, so ever since 8 years old up until 18 years old, I've played 16 different instruments in my life, and like just through school band, jazz band competitions. I was in the jazz combo in school on the drum set. Like I played in church, I played keys, I played bass guitar. You know, just like everything like that. Started producing on Fruity Loops version 6 when I was 11 years old. I think is when I first started making beats, and that was that was just off the whim of like a family member that did it. I have a cousin named Brian. He was producing, and so when he went to the Marines, he used to call me like we used to talk to like 2 3 a.m. He used to tell me how to do stuff on Fruity Loops, and I used to like, he's like, you see this right here, click this right here, click that. And it was a lot happening with
You getting a tutorial, like you was getting a walkthrough on that shit.
pretty much.
Okay, that's okay. So now I usually have a tangent or two question, and this is definitely one that comes off. Because you from 8 to 18, you pick up all these different instruments, right? So clearly you're gifted and talented, intelligent enough to be able to apply the knowledge and do this, right? So then I guess my question is, how do you transition into Fruity Loops? You're using these physical manifestations to create music, and then you go to a digital tool. How did that transfer, or how did that translate for you?
I think it leads back once again. I had influence from my older cousin. We used to go over his house every weekend, and he would produce, and I would just be on the game or something as a kid, but I would watch it as it would happen, and I would see him creating. But like, just barely really noticing it. I mean, man, I did all this, with music, but like I was still like a diss at the end of the day. Like I played these instruments and I had keyboards and stuff, but I never put together two and two that I could connect the keyboard to a computer to play like my beat. So I was clicking in everything like that I made for beats, and then I'll just go around playing willy nilly, music. And it's like, I didn't even like put two and two together. You can do that, And so like it was like that for me. Like I had them all separated just because of my background. Uh,
Got you. Okay.
Eventually cohesively put them together. Yeah, eventually, And so
And
that's
that's what we get now, because we can hear it in the music. And I want to just take a moment to, I don't spend a lot of time pushing people's music directly because I want to push the story. I want to push the talent, the person behind them. But the music that I have heard from you, and I've caught you at a couple of live events, and it's actually quite amazing because the way you just like, everyone knows if there's a producer or a beat maker per se, it's all about producing that emotion. You have a good way of like not only like making the emotion be felt, but sequencing it in a way over the course of a 2 or 3 song or 4 song set. So
appreciate.
definitely a performer, great stage presence. I just want to make sure we give you your flowers and your accolades now, man. We appreciate what you're doing.
I appreciate you, man. No,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah,
no, definitely. That's a big thing for me too. Just making sure how I convey,
yeah.
like I was saying earlier.
It comes through.
Yeah.
So okay, now here's something I ask all anyone that is an artist in a sense, like yo, they fuck with hip hop, right? They rap in some kind of way. I always ask, like, what comes first, beats or the lyrics? But for you, I guess we gotta like double entendre that, right? Because you're making this shit, right? So
Yeah.
is it safe to say that the beat always comes first for you, or like when it comes to the hip hop genre? Because you mentioned jazz and other genres. So when it comes to rap and hip hop, what was the first thing that intrigued you or drew you in? Was it the lyrics for you? Were you writing or were you making beats first?
You know, man, it a lot of times it depended on the type of song. A lot of times I would make a lot of beats and I would go through beats that I've made maybe another time and be like, hey man, this is actually something I should write to, or sometimes though, I'll just be in the car, and I swear, man, it happens to me all the time. It's so weird. It's like I'll have um, I want to say a blinker turn on, my steering wheel, and I hear the metronome, and I'm like, riding in the train, man, I'm like, just start like clicking to the beat. I'm like, man, what am I doing? I used to have jobs where somehow, we're working in an assembly line, and there's a rhythm that I find, and I used to be like, man, I can't wait till I go home and write this song. It's gonna be, it's gonna be dope. So it really depended a lot of times on the situation, the circumstance. I've never had a specific formula, except for just one rule for me was just to make sure that I blended with the production, and that was like, and it was kind of hard for me to do that vocally because I had been producing all this time. I had been writing raps on the low as I grew up, but never really told anybody. Maybe freestyled a couple times at lunch, lunch table and all that stuff, but like, never really told anybody. And then came to this point here. So yeah.
So you were, as far as what you were presenting or showing people, you came off more as a producer or beat maker on the music side, not like, hold on, not only can I write, but I got bars and I can rap and shit. Okay.
Man.
All right. Hey, appreciate everybody tapping in. Tell a friend to tell a friend, though. This is Bump Jonas, Sprinkle Some Salt Podcast. We having conversations on the Cardiac with Bam Keith, y'all. Bro, I just want to say Bam motherfucking Keith. There's like really no other way to say that shit. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyway. All right. So, what's the first car that you remember driving? Doesn't have to be the one that you own, but the first car that you remember, like you was whipping around in that motherfucker.
Man, I'd have to say my dad's red truck. I think I was around like 14 years old, man. He was asleep, man. And I took it down the street, and I used to do that all the time until I got caught. When I finally got caught, that's when everything gets fucked up. You can't, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that's the first one I remember. I remember driving, man, like, just ever in my life. And it came to be other things later on, but
I fuck with it. He said he snuck out with the Pops truck. All right. Now, somebody said, talk about how he got his music on TV. We're going to get to that. I think that's actually a very important and vital piece. We're going to get to that, though. That's definitely in here. Hey, shout out to them, though. That's my Blunt Bands. That's a dope-ass company. My bad. I didn't mean to overstep that. Just want to call y'all out, man. Definitely a good supporter of the community as well, for sure. Casey, stand up. All right, so what's your favorite piece of equipment? Are you a gearhead? I just assume that all producers, beat makers, musicians are a gearhead of sort, but
you kind of have to be, because like if you if something gets fucked up on your computer, if you got to troubleshoot, you don't want to keep calling somebody to pay them all the, you don't want to keep, it's gonna be like, so like eventually you got to learn, how things work in and out of the equipment you're using. But my favorite will have to be, man, I love keyboards, man. Keyboards are like my thing, like the more options I have, the more fun I have with it, honestly.
Okay, keyboards. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
Now, I think you were going live the other day playing the piano. So is it safe to say that, like, I mean, like, how do you mentioned freestyling before, and when I think of musicians, especially jazz, like that's just the foundation of freestyling right there, right? So, like, how do you approach freestyling on a piano or on a keyboard?
Man, how I confront it. It's so funny. Like, what comes up in my head first is like, don't let them down. Like, make sure you kill this motherfucker.
Just be dope.
Yeah. If there's ever anybody watching, make sure you kill this mug. And I don't say that from like a way like I want to show off, but more it's like I want to be excellent in everything I do, right? And that includes mixing for other people. If my name is on it, I'm going to make sure your song is nice, like really nice. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. So, if I know somebody's watching, okay, you know, and then even when I'm playing by myself, I feel like God's watching, so I just want to, you know, really like, you know, like just play good. You know what I mean? You know, just like play well, play with excellence all the time. That's what I want to do. You know.
I love it. Okay. Yo, that's a soundbite, y'all. I swear to God, that's a soundbite.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Man, play with excellence. Play like God is watching. Hey, man.
Yeah.
So, which sibling can you beat up?
Both. But they girls, man. So it's like I wouldn't want to, but like,
Right.
you
Okay.
know,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. So then, in reverse, which one of them can beat you up?
Maybe the oldest. I'm the youngest out of both of them. They're both my sisters. They both, you know, but maybe the
Oh,
oldest. But I don't know. Today, man, I'm a grown man, man. I don't know. I don't, you know.
God. So you gonna tell me this sis never put you in like a headlock, a figure four?
I mean, I'll let them put me in a headlock. You know what I mean? But I ain't just gonna beat my sister ass. You know. It's like I'm sure, you know, bloodthirsty against bloodthirsty. Like, of course, you know, you would know what happened, you know, but like they are, you know, they're pretty cool to me. You know what I mean? Like oh, you know.
All right, we don't want to start no sibling rivalry. We don't
No,
want no civil
no, they
war.
wouldn't. No, they wouldn't be like. It wouldn't be like that, man. It's hilarious.
All right, so what is the wildest food you've ever tried?
The wildest food I've ever tried. I've tried some wild food.
Okay,
I
okay.
couldn't even
I
pick.
figured this would be a great question for you.
Yeah, I couldn't even pick because okay, so check this out, man. So I was thinking like, okay, I'm in Anguilla, right? Anguilla Island.
Okay.
And I'm working for the Grammys at this point. They had given me per diem. I'm still broke. I'm from Kansas City, right? I'm still broke at this time. I'm like, you know, they give me per diem, give me like a cool little $1,500 just to survive out there, you know, and they paid for my room, flight, all that stuff. I was working there. Man, I'm like a kind of guy, and I've been like this since I was a kid. I'm the guy that's like, I just want to see what's gonna happen if I do this. You know, like what, you know, and it used to get me in trouble a lot when I was growing up, but like, you know, I was still kind of that guy. You know what I mean? Just you want to see like, man, if I don't do this right now, I'll never get to see what would happen if I did it, man. Like, you know, you
That's real. That's real.
you know what I mean? So I saw everything on the menu. I was eating with my supervisor that was there with me. You know, he was just there to make sure the song was facilitated. You know, everything we wrote was like, you know, on paper, everything was good. Um, and they had $100, $200 lobster. It was a full lobster, like
Oh,
the whole thing, eyes, antennas, everything, like the whole thing. But like seafood is my favorite food anyway, man.
sorry.
And like, I thought it was just stupid, man. I was like, I think it's gonna be dumb if I pay $200 for a lobster. But I just did it, man. I was like, man, if I don't get this lobster now, I don't think you know, I've never been to that same restaurant ever since, man. And I was
Now
like,
has lobster tasted the same since? Like, did it?
no, this lobster was crazy. When I tell you this lobster was crazy, like at first I was trying to be all cool. I was eating it with a fork, and the chef came out. He's like, what are you doing, man? He said, tear into it, eat it, eat it. Because, like, you know, all these people, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was all these people, all these rich people just looking at me like, he's got a $200. Like, who is this kid? Like, kind of look, I'm like, yeah, I got a $200 lobster. Like, let's not, who asking about it, you know? You know, but like, I did it, man. I had to, man. It was like, man,
I'm
you
fun
know,
with it. Hey, man, you know what? You gotta live. You only live once. You know. I mean, shit. We gonna quote Drake, YOLO, right? I fuck with it. So, $200 lobster, y'all. That's
I ain't been there since. I'm just telling you, man, I would have never known if I didn't do it, man. Like,
Hey, shout out to everyone that's tapping in. It's your boy Bump Jonas. We're doing conversations from the cardiac with my man Bam motherfucking Keith. No Bam Bam, no Bam Bam Bigelow, none of that shit. KC's on. And I do want to take a quick minute, man. Shout out to our largest sponsor, Thrax Pastry. They was talking about infused lobster bisque. As a taste tester, that shit has knocked me out. It happens. It happens.
I saw that too. Shout out Mando too, man. I see Mando down there. And
Hey,
Dion.
shout out to all the people, man. They coming out for you. They love you. They laughing. They engaging. Make sure y'all throw some questions if you got something for us. So, all right, what's your go-to genre when it comes to? I guess it's like, you know, you're just gonna walk right into the studio and produce something. You just got a free moment. You want to just throw something together, right? Just get some expression out. What's your go-to genre when it comes to that type of creation?
My go-to genre. Okay, definitely always lately, not saying this forever, but lately, definitely always coming from a hip hop foundation. But the icing on the cake is what it's like everyone's favorite part, right? And that's the part that I like to infuse other genres into, like like fusion jazz and sometimes like things that's just inspired from video games, like certain games I played growing up. I was like, I remember as a kid, like, this song is hard, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody say, like this, infusing things like that, just things that I kind of grew up to listening to. Timberland, when it came to producing for Aaliyah, the stuff he would do like in the back, like the beatboxing he will put in. I don't know if you hardly notice it, but on a few of my songs, I beatbox in the back of my production, just like how Timberland does. And then
I don't know if I've noticed it on yours, but when you say Timberland and then some of the other references, it makes sense because you have a very smooth, eclectic sound on the beat when we're talking the beat, but it still feels very, very blended and smooth is the heavy word because everything just feels organically and put together. So I love that, man. That's all right. All right. I fuck with this. Yeah. So okay, here's something I want to talk about, and actually, I'm just gonna throw it out there because I don't understand it, and I hope for everyone as we get into this, I hope y'all are taking notes. I'm gonna get my arm ready to sprinkle some salt because we're gonna let you drop some gems here. But you were just talking about working with the Grammys. You got you a stipend. You're doing things. You're writing songs. I know I've heard you reference syncs, commercial placements. In my head, and essentially, I just need you to break it down. But in my head, I reference it like um, the dude from 2.5 Men that writes jingles is kind of like that, where you put this dope piece together and you sell it, and then they play it everywhere, and you just kind of chill on the beach side and get a check. Is that the ultimate goal? Or talk to us about this scenario, man.
So honestly, I didn't even know what sync was when I got the opportunity. Like, they came to me with the opportunity about it, and at the time I was thinking, well, you know what? It's not like I would have to do any extra work. I've made all these songs. I might as well like try to see, what's going on with it. Now, I called a lot of people that I knew, and it's these guys that they kind of see me like a nephew, but they produce, man, for like some big names and like, and it's like people that I see in Anguilla every time we go to Anguilla Island. I see, for that program through the Grammys, I see them all the time. I get to talk to them and text them and stuff and ask for advice. And so I'm talking and they tell me, make sure you get a non-exclusive agreement instead of an exclusive. And I'm like, what's that mean? So I guess non-exclusive, you get to make whatever you make, but then if they like it, they put it on the show. They feel like it fits for it. But if you do an exclusive, you're making a song for the network. Like, think about See You Again, Wiz Khalifa, how he made that for Fast and Furious when Paul Walker died, and like that song was circulating. That was like an exclusive because he made it for Fast and Furious,
Just for that franchise, right. Just for that.
Exactly. Okay. So I thought to myself, well, shit, I make songs anyway. I might as well just like do a non-exclusive, and if they like it, they like it. And then when they started to like it, I'm like, okay, I know what type of songs to make. Now I'm gonna make this type of song because I see they liking this. And this same song got synced to 3 different shows. So I'm like, okay, now I know how I need to, you know. And then I kept thinking. So far, I've made 14 syncs, 14 placements ever since I first signed up for that, and that was around 2 to 3 years ago. So that was the blessing. And my biggest one was Gatorade, the Gatorade commercial. That was a
Yeah, because you've got. I was gonna say like I feel like Nickelodeon, MTV. You've got some companies on your resume.
sure.
So okay, 14, and we're not trying to pocket watch. We just kind of, for me, I just want to get an understanding. And appreciate everybody tapping in. Dose at 816, Happy Camper. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
My God.
So 14 placements over the course of the last few years. I mean, what is an average amount of placements, right? I mean, because I would think it's like voiceover work in a sense where you're trying to get your stuff out and you get responses. Like, so
Yeah.
3 placements might be an outstanding year. In some cases, I don't know. Like, what's the frequency like?
You know, I'll be fine getting 1 placement a year if it's a movie. I'll tell you that. But I'll be,
right?
yeah, you know, but
You got
I'll feel,
movies?
well, I have one on the way. I can't talk about it now because it's NDA, but that's the, you know, yeah, it's like, it's on the way. But man, but I feel the same way about that, if I would have got maybe 6 placements for TV shows in that
Okay.
year. So that's
Okay.
how I can tell you. That's how I gauge it. Because it's like, I know for movies, they pay a lot more. You know,
That's a lick.
for TV
That's a
shows,
lick.
it's a lot of royalties for TV shows.
So
Because
that's
people watch that,
another lick.
they watch it over again. You know what I mean? And like, you know, if it's viewed multiple times, that's how you get the royalties, you know. So,
Okay, man. Let me just take me. You can't do it because you understand NDA, but I'm gonna take me a swanky shot for my man Bam Keith, y'all.
hey, man. Hey,
Pinky out, because I mean, look, we're not pocket watching, but my man is doing good. Appreciate you, sharing the game.
yeah.
Wow, again, like I said, a household name that y'all never knew, but you need to.
It's
Um,
KC,
oh,
man. You know, that's how I feel.
all right, man. Hey, man, I'm just looking forward to being able to be like, yep, that guy's from where we from, man. Because you're gonna be rubbing elbows and doing things, man.
Appreciate you.
So, what's your favorite part of performing? Because you can go either front of stage or back of stage, right? Or not back of stage, but you could be part of the band or vocals. So, where's your mix?
Man, my favorite is the playing drums, but like in a really professional like a really professional setting. Like playing drums is like, that's like, I don't know, man. I like the little inner ears that's in your ears, and then like you can just let loose and just do what you need to do. I like performing on the mic too. That's kind of close. I
Okay.
kind of have that close to playing drums, but playing drums, man, it's like that's my first instrument ever. That's like the first one I ever started on.
Okay.
That's like the one that's like, yeah, bro, I'm about to tear this shit up. Like,
So
I'm like,
you back at home on the
yeah,
drums. You like, okay.
yeah. The microphone, the keyboard, I'm just touring around in a different country, but I'm back home when I'm on the drum set. It's like, bro, you know what I mean? Like for real, man. Yeah, yeah. That's like,
Okay, so speaking of real quick, when you say bars, I like how you did that. That was just so natural in how you did that. You mentioned you were writing a song. So you don't just put together the music, you actually put together the words as well. Is that how, I guess in the question really comes down to how do you get that particular type of freedom? Because sometimes they don't want your lyrics, they just want your music, right? So how do you get that package deal? Excuse me. Besides just being dope as hell,
oh
right?
man, no, okay. How about this? I'll answer this um neurologically, and I'll answer this, just logically, period. I say neurologically, I was born with it's like a dysfunction, a neurological dysfunction. It's called synesthesia. I see colors when I hear music a lot. And
Okay.
And like I've been doing that since I was a kid. When I was learning keyboard as a kid growing up, they used to play, my family, they'd mess around and fuck around, play songs on the radio and be like, okay, learn this song before it's over. Learn this song before it's over. And I'll learn it. I'll just like, it eventually got easier and easier. I started to memorize those colors and which chords match to those colors. So that was the thing that I, as a kid growing up, before I even thought about grabbing a mic ever, that was like, as a kid. But logically, just period, man, I just take my time with things. I don't go to a lot of shows unless it's something, you know, for certain. And I feel like a lot of artists should do that. But I feel like it's also not to knock you performing, period, though, because people need to perform. But for me and the direction I'm going in, I'm already doing a sync thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying. That's like my job. Like now, I'm like able to do that. I'm blessed to do that. But when I perform, I want to perform for something that's like important. That's a staple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if they, if it somehow comes to a point to where they have everyone from KC that really try to put a staple in something perform, I would like to, perform. If
Right.
there's somebody coming in town that's like up my style, like if it's Anderson Paak coming in town because he plays the instrument too, he plays drum, I would like to perform. You know what I'm saying? Get things together like that. I put together shows. I put together things for other artists. I did that behind the artist first, and then I became an artist to try to understand the artist even more. So that's why people call me Pharrell of Kansas City. It's like like that kind of thing. I mean, that's like my MO. That's what I do. Collaboration is like my favorite. I like co.
Oh,
You know,
just get a grill and it's locked in. I fuck with it. I
you
fuck
know what
with
I mean?
it.
Yeah, man.
All
Yeah.
right, man. So talk to us a little bit about your studio setup. Somebody said Hendrix mentions synesthesia as well. So you share some afflictions with the greats. That came off a bit. That could have been a little bad.
You was right though. That's accurate. That's accurate though, man. Cause like that's not supposed to happen. It's like, what I mean? My mama let me know that when I was 15, man. I told her about that. She said, yeah, don't tell anyone else that. I said, hey, for real? I was like, that's how. But when I told the Grammys at 18, they gave me a book on it. So that's how I knew it was real. I'm like, oh, okay. This is
Okay.
wasn't tripping, so um but my bad. What was the question again? One more
No,
time.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm glad you asked that because I almost lost it. You talked about the Grammys, and I was about to go in there, man. My drink is kicking in, y'all. My
Hey,
flat. We having fun, man. But no. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about your studio setup. Like how do you have your creative space set up when it's time to go in and make music or express yourself?
shoot, man. Definitely keyboard, MPK, MPC type of situation. I love loading samples into the, all that stuff with the keys in there with it.
Shit. Okay.
Got that. Pro Tools is for mixing and mastering for me, but Logic is for making beats. FL is for making beats, and I load that into Pro Tools to mix. That's what I do. Um, um, definitely a mic like I say Mojave 200 is what I have, but we also have a U87 at our studio too. That's a $6,000 mic. So that mug is, that's what I like to use when I like to beatbox behind my productions. I go into Pro Tools, I load that in, I sample that. I sample my own voice a lot of times, put it in there, and like, it's like a lot of things going on with that. But that's pretty much all I need. If I got those three, just my
Good.
keyboard, the mic, the softwares, then I'm straight, man. That's everything I need.
You could practically take that anywhere.
Oh
So,
yeah.
my man. Okay. All
For
right.
sure.
So, who was the first person? I kind of say it like this. Who was your first cosign? Who is that first person that you took your music to that, you know, and this may be a little bit different for you because you've been a musician for a long time, but when you started to create your own music, who was that first person you took it to be like, yo, check this out. What do you think?
Man, my first cosign was Bob Santelli. Bob Santelli from the Grammy Museum. He used to be back in the day. the main editor of Rolling Stone magazine, and then he helped and founded the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then he went over to LA and created the Grammy Museum. So this dude was like, he's one of the guys that chooses the Grammy for the people that that have. And I was the first one. He was the first one that like kind of mentored me and taught me the game a lot of times. And throughout the years I've known him, that's where we travel. We traveled together. He would bring me to Anguilla Island. He would bring me to Tampa, Florida, to LA. He would bring me to Toronto. He would bring me to like, all these places. And it was like, the first person we met was Jimmy Jam. And yeah. And Jimmy Jam told Bob, watch out for that boy right there. He was like, just keep your eye on him because, he got something, and so that's
a compliment.
And I didn't, at that time, I didn't even understand what was just being said and who was saying it, And when I actually did my research, I just couldn't do nothing but thank God, man. I was like, I couldn't believe, which definitely, Teddy Riley and all those people, like I was up to there, but I didn't do my research further back to like Jimmy Jam and all that,
Well, but that's understandable. At that age, you wouldn't necessarily have gotten the scope of it at that time.
Exactly.
You're still, man, it doesn't matter, bro. Is it safe to say you assume to be Grammy? If you're not Grammy nominated now, you will be, but you're definitely Grammy affiliated.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh my God, bro. I'm having a hipster moment. I'm just gonna let you know. My drink is kicking in, but be like, yo, I talk to that motherfucker.
No, you good, man. No, you good. You good. It was like, yeah, it's just, that was the biggest blessing for me happening right there. The people I met, the people I got to meet that's done these things, and I've heard about them in books and movies before I met them, so it gave me perspective.
And you kept your composure too. You didn't lose your shit.
No,
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't, because that was the first thing I got to see out the gate. Like straight. I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this, and this is like for the people too who's watching who knew me from back in the day. And people don't know this, man. But dude, like growing up, man, in high school, I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? I was like homeless in high school, and I got to, I got to have the opportunity by going to the correct school and showing off what I needed to show off, to get to the Grammys, like, and there's people around that knew certain people there, and that's how that happened, So it was like, I couldn't, it was like right out the gate, like, man, just think about it. Like you go from 1 year into the next year, from being homeless to going to the Grammy Awards and like meeting people and like seeing and like, that's like out of nowhere. That's like one of those shows we see where they give a homeless dude a whole house and $100,000, and you like, nigga, what's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you don't know what you like, and so I wasn't starstruck because I just had no idea what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I was living on 51st, and I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just
everything was alien at that point.
Yeah,
You was okay. I
was going to Paseo, and I was just trying to get better at my instruments and what I was playing. Like every day, I was just trying to do that just to keep my mind off of what was happening around me. And then that happened. It was like tunnel vision, and then that happened out of nowhere. And I feel like
you ran with it though. Like you haven't let go since. So I love that. Just I want to say tenacity, the perseverance, but also the self-awareness of your gift and like, yo, I'm doing something, so let me just keep rocking this motherfucker out, man. That's a beautiful thing. Not many people have the opportunity to acknowledge a passion, but then also to take advantage of it. So salute to you.
For sure.
Now, do you happen to come from a musical family? Like, does anyone else play an instrument in your family, or?
So man, yeah, they said my granddad played 10 instruments himself, man. Like he played 10, and I never knew that growing up. It was kind of crazy, man. That was his last thing that he got to hear before he passed away, was he got to hear me play piano. And he's never heard anybody from his family. He said that, I heard that he said that. He said, one of my last regrets they're like, what, Granddaddy? He's like, man, I've never really taught any of you piano. I wanted, always wanted to teach one of you that. And they said, well, Bam knows how to play. He said, no way. What? And I played for him. And this is when I was 18 years old too, man. Like during all this stuff that was going on, everything, I played for him. And when I played for him, he went to sleep, and I just gathered my things. But I found out later he actually never went to sleep. He actually passed away right then and there. It's crazy. And like I got to play for him like for his last dying wish, and that was like a big grandiose moment. Like, okay, now I know. Like I thought I was just messing around with stuff at first, but now it's like I know now, I can do
bro,
this.
like I grew up on video games and comic books. That is the greatest origin story
Bro.
ever. Like, bro. Oh my God.
Bro, yes. And it's funny though, cause like, and so I see Mando, man, shout out to Mando and Satellite down there, what they're saying, cause a few weeks later, I actually do remember myself becoming like exponentially better, sharper. Like when I never hit multiple keys on accident,
Right.
like I never I was really sharp. It was kind of like the mantle been passed on,
Right.
I
love that, man. You got the glow. Bam the Dragon. You know what I'm saying? I follow.
Dragon, hey man, for real.
All right, so my next question was gonna be who plays better. We're gonna leave that alone because you the dopest. All right.
Wait, between who? Because
if there's anyone else in your family that plays music, who plays better?
Man, I think my cousin's still better than me at producing. The one that taught me how to produce.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Cuddy Bear, but he produced most of Cuddy Bear's music that's been coming out.
Okay.
That's the one that taught me how to produce. And his name is Otis Fuller. It's like, I still think he's better than me in production. Me personally, but
Okay. All right.
you got to question out.
My man over here being gracious and humble and shit. We ain't gonna say fake humble. That's not, ain't none of that. That was real humble.
Right, yeah.
I love it. I love that. All right. So, okay. I mean, this is probably a nuanced question for you because you have the think and the commercial angle and the Grammy experience. But talk to us a little bit about the differences between a beat maker and a producer.
A beat maker is exactly what it's called, making beats. A producer, I feel like, can either make beats to work with the artist, make no beats at all, and pick the beats with the artist. That's called an executive producer. Write, that can be a producer because maybe you wrote for the whole album, and that's an executive production. That counts as that too. So that's like people, either way, you're putting your name on the same line. When by the time you know what I mean, the credits that you see, that's just the extra shit that they put on albums and like back of album covers and stuff like so. Like I think a producer is someone who uses their mind a little more than their creative mind, and that's why I feel like, so a producer can make beats like a beat maker and do all these other things, but a beat maker is just a beat maker.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Ooh. So you'll notice that they have different ways of like gathering success. You got some beat makers getting big success off of YouTube and BeatStars, but you got producers who got big success and you don't hear one tag on who made the beat. You don't hear no, it's muzzled on a beat. You don't hear none of that. All you know is that this mug is crazy and he did this for this big artist and you don't know who it is, but until you look it up and you research, you like, oh, that's Pharrell Williams again? Like, like I thought, you know what I mean? Like, dang, like, you don't hear no tag. He got his own style, but you can tell when you study them that much, you can tell Timbaland, he has his own style, and but that's like my thing, right? That's like okay. What I was telling you, I got.
And so let's go into that real quickly. We got plenty of time. I got a good 15 minutes here. So, what is your signature style?
Man, my signature, man. Man, honestly, I feel like I've never found it in my production. I'll use the same kicks, but you wouldn't notice that. I'll use like the same like snare sometimes, but a lot of times you wouldn't notice that because I use other stuff too to try to like make it different. But I think ever since I became an artist, I made my own style out of my production and my vocals too.
Shit.
I
Okay. Okay.
feel good, man. And it kind of excites me because it's like, okay, all right, I'm really understanding this artist shit. Like this is like this is like
So
okay, this is how I want
you're
to do
some
it.
ODB shit, man.
Yeah,
Father of his own
man.
style. I fuck with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, it's the music I listen to though. That's not even mine. Like, I listen to a lot of music, but like, that's what like got me to that quality right there. It was like the music I listened to. What I mean? It's like that's pretty much, yeah,
Feeds into your style, into who, and well, and when you listen to your own music as well, because as you're cycling through, and okay, I
yeah.
fuck with it, man. This man made his own style. All right. So, worst injury you've ever had?
Worst injury? Ooh, ooh. Hey man, one time. I don't know, man.
Hold on, hold on. You always know. First of all, appreciate all y'all tapping in. We having conversations with a cardiac with Bam Bam Keith, man. Bam Bam the Dragon. But you always know it's gonna be a good response when they say, first of all, they confirm, and then they say, "Whoo, you know." Shout out to my man Pacho. That's my commission, bro, man. Love, love. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, now, worst injury. Come on, lay it on this, man.
It's between one time when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and I was on a plane the next day, and my the stitches popped on the plane. That was crazy. That was like you know, bro. Hey man, what's so funny is that I was knocked out because I'm still like kind of high from the medicine, that they give you, and like I'm knocked out. This dude, this like man is next to me is like screaming, "We need a medic!" And like everybody's just looking at me, bro. Like I just see everybody like just have their heads turned, looking at me. I wake up, man. And I like, bro, I got blood all over my shirt. Like I look like a zombie almost. Like I kind of like. I couldn't believe it, man. It was crazy. I was bleeding, and they like
Looking like the
yeah,
Last of Us or some shit.
something like that. Like it didn't really hurt, which was crazy. Another one that didn't really hurt was when I was a kid. I tried to skateboard for the first time. Man, went up this little curve, zoop, fell back, and when I fell back, I tried to catch myself. My fingers bent all the way back like that, and it happened so fast that I knew something was wrong though. Cause it started swelling up, it started turning into sausages, and I was like, oh snap. So I try to, I go in the house. I try to tell my mama, my mama's on the phone. I'm like 6 years old at this time, man. My mama's on the phone. She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, back up, back up. I'm like, Mom, I think it's really something wrong with my hand, like I'm like really trying to show her. I'm like, man, I really think something's going on. Like, she's like, hold up. What you need? I saw the thing. She's like, wow, started screaming, boy, going crazy. I'm like, I told you something wrong with my hand. I'm like, I don't be playing, man. When there's something wrong with me, man, I'll tell you, dude. I'll be like, hey, look, like,
This ain't right.
yeah,
This ain't right here.
this ain't right, bro. It's like, this
I
mother feel
love
weird.
it. I love it. All right, man. I knew it was gonna be some good stories. I knew it was gonna be a good story. All right, so being that you are a musician, being that you make your own beats and you fathered your own style, are you able to rap over other people's beats? Like, does it feel foreign to you?
Nah, man, cause the first thing is first. Yeah, I might think of a beat. I was telling you earlier, you was asking me how I create my songs. I may think of a beat. I may think of a lyric, all that stuff. But like when I actually get to work, and most of the time I'm not like at the studio to really create what I want to create. And when I get there, that's when I do it all. But I write to metronomes. I write to clicks. Like,
Ooh,
if
yeah.
it's like
Okay.
a click, if it's a click, I can ask somebody to make anything around it. And I'll just rap to the click and I'll send it to them through text. And then they'll like, okay, because um, that's how I used to make beats back then. I used to rip like acapellas from songs that's popular and make my own beat around it and stuff. I used to do that back in the day. And You know, so it kind of like that helped me with the creation of it, I guess. You know, like there's multiple ways you can write. Like some people have writer's block, but it's like maybe it's the perspective on where you're writing from. Are you writing from
Mm-hmm.
the same place you always write from? Or are you writing from a place due to the results of your studying on music that you're able to write from multiple places, you know? So it's like you can write from any kind of, I can write to a metronome, fucking around, just having fun, and I'm like, oh snap. Or I can really think of something real deep, and I'm like, dang, like that was my dog, you know, like I miss this dude, you know what I mean, whatever, and like, you know, right from that perspective, or right from what somebody said to me in real life, like, man, I remember I was, you know, yeah, flip that and talk from, you know, maybe some girl I used to date was talking crazy to me, and I write from that perspective, like, you know, and say something like that, you know, or it could be anything, like, you know.
We got a lot of those. No, I'll play it. I'll play it. Oh man. All right, so here's a quick question.
Yeah,
Would you prefer tangy bacon or spicy donut?
tangy bacon.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Spicy donuts.
Was Barney
Yeah. That's like scary. That's like, you know, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
All right. Was Barney black, white, or other?
I don't know, man. Either or, because I thought he was a pedo my whole life, man. So I don't know, either or.
Okay. I was like, man, my nigga got serious when I said Barney. Hold on, he got
like,
serious
bro,
face.
I was like, yeah,
Hold
that
on.
nigga scared me, dog. I was like, I don't know, man.
Oh man. All right. Oh shit. No more Barney questions, dog. We ain't triggering nobody else. It's not gonna happen. All right, man. All right. So who's some local folks that you would like to work with, and talk to us a little bit about how you approach collaboration.
Man, honestly, you know, I can think of some people. There's some people that's like up and coming. There's a lot of people I would like to do production for.
Okay.
When it comes to my own songs, um, I like working with the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
When it's my own songs, I like working with the artists that people like they kind of listen to, but they not really paying attention to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they like, you know, like, and I'm thinking in my head, yeah, when I get them on my song, I'm gonna make them sound like, you know, how I know they can sound, you know, and like that's how I think. Like I love being a team player type of thing. Like I can bring the best out of you. You on the song, plus you on my song, we can get synced together because I send all my songs to sing some placements for them to get, you know,
Yeah.
placed
So
better.
it's just a hustle with excellence. I love it. I love it.
Hey
I
man,
love it.
I don't have to write a verse. You get to get paid. When we get paid, you get, you know, you get that whole thing, you know what I mean? And like, you know, we be about our way. You be happy, you get royalties, you know, all that stuff, like, you know, and I'll
Nobody
record
complain
myself
with a check.
and mix it. I'll mix it myself because I'm the one recording it anyway. Like, so, you know, like I feel like it's just super easy working with me, man. Like, but I love the underdogs, and but one person too, and we still been talking about it, but we always been talking about it for years. Is me and Kai Color, boy. Me and Kai Colors.
Shout out to Kai Colors,
Yeah,
man. He just dropped a project recently. 316 Color Man. That
yeah,
dope shit. Dope
yeah.
shit.
I did
Um,
the last project that he dropped before this one, and so
okay.
that's the project that mastered on that one. But like every time we got together, man, it was always something. But we always doing other things, and like we never like get it done. But I would like to work with him someday. That would be that would.
But that would be, I can't think of a better word than beautiful because I could just see y'all really blending some shit together, pulling some shit off there. So that's gonna be fire. That's the proper word. Fire.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Probably.
So this is probably another corny question. What's the KC sound? When someone asks you that from your perspective as Bam motherfucking Dragon Keith, what's the KC sound?
Man, right now, I feel like it's been changing. Growing up, it was more like the Bay sound. I grew up listening to Messy Marv and San Quinn and all them too. Like, you know, it wasn't just jazz and all that stuff. I was listening to a whole bunch of other types of, you know, Mac Dre, Fat Tone, you know, DB, Kiwi. You got Ron. You got, that was like a Bay type of sound. I remember, like, you know, just hearing about all the time. But now it's changing more into this Midwest sound, which is what I've always wanted it to be, low key. Like this, it's almost changing into this like mixture between Bay and Chicago type
Mm.
style to me. And I hear some Detroit, you know, and KC too, but like this style that's coming up, and that's why I like to produce for everybody like this in the city, because I kind of want to be responsible for the sound in the city, you know. And so that's why I do what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's something of that nature. But yeah, that's what I feel like. If that makes sense.
No,
You tell me what's the sound in our city?
you know, I was actually going to say you just described what I have in my head, because I've always thought of KC as a very strong Bay. First of all, it's a very mafia, very pimp-driven
Right.
aesthetic to me, with a conservative nature. So that Bay Area funk, that Chicago drill,
Right.
that rapid flow, that city story type of thing. That's a KC thing. So you
Yeah.
really broke it down for me. So thank you.
That's what's up, man.
Man. So okay, I only got a couple more minutes here, man. Okay. How about competitions? Have you ever entered into any like you know, beat competition, production contests, you know, anything, even music competitions? You know, have you been in that type of environment?
I did one beat competition at the mini bar in KC. It was around like 2016.
Fresh produce or something like that, or
King Reach. I don't know if you remember King
no?
Reach. Yeah.
I didn't hear that one. Okay, okay.
This dude, and that's where I met one of the producers that produced for my last album, Twin Colors. I met him, and his name was the thing that compelled me to him, because his name was Leonard Destroy. And I thought to myself, if there's a motherfucker named Leonard Destroy, he either got to be the worst or the best producer I've ever heard. I was like, it's got to be either or,
That's
dog,
a
because
hard
his name
name.
sounds like some Marvel comic stuff,
Yeah.
like right now, like, you know, like it sounds like a villain, man, like like I'm like, you know, like I know this dude's crazy. And when I heard his sound, I said, oh yeah, we're gonna work together in the future. But you know, it was that competition I did. I did a competition in Tampa, Florida. I have the video myself, but I've never uploaded it. It was a drum competition, and
Oh shit.
yeah, I got second place in that. And I played the drums with the bandana across my eyes, so I was playing with like blindfolded, and like
Oh, so you come out with some drumline shit, had the you know,
had a whole like thing, you know, the whole drum set, everything. It was like one of those that I don't know, you know, if you ever remember a Guitar Center drum off that used to happen back in the day, you know, you could see like it was kind of a style like that, and that was cool. That was cool. I wanted that, so that was cool. Of that, but that was yeah. It was a long time ago though, before I even thought about anything I'm doing right now.
so,
You know,
so and you know that actually is um gonna be the one question I want to wrap up with, is like, you found the music, you found the instruments, you found the discipline to learn, but what was it that triggered you to start to, because expressing is one thing, but getting to the point where you want to share the expression, what was the trigger that said, all right, you know what, not only am I good enough for me, but I'm good enough for them? What said, like, yo, let's
dang,
get out there?
dang, that's crazy. That's exactly what I said too, man. And it was when I was producing for an album I had for a friend. This is before I used to like really know how to charge people. Before I really knew, you know, you got to go through that hump. You know, if you just now starting to produce, you just now starting to write, you got to go over the hump of even asking your own friends to pay a certain price, you know, for what's happening, your services and all that. So, you know, and it only gets easier the more you do it. But it was, I was producing a project for a friend of mine, and he had quit music, in the middle of it. It was like a crazy project, man. Dope beats involved, all the stuff involved. And I said to myself, I said, you know, I'm going to be an artist, bro. I said, yeah, I might as well be an artist. I know how to rap. I'm like, but nah, I can't just rap. I'm like, I know how to like rap. I know how to like write some really good stuff. Maybe I will. And then that's what I thought about. That was my first project's name. Maybe I will.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, that's where that came. That's where that came from. You know, so yeah, that was like the original idea, and that's how that happened. It's crazy.
Hey man, shout out to that artist who stopped, because that helped everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey man, it's been a hell of a conversation. My drink is kicking in. I'm about to lose sight of the screen. I can't see. No, I'm playing. But man, on the way out, man, I appreciate the hell out of this conversation. Thank you so much for your time and your presence. Is there anything you want to let us know? Anything? Now's the time for them. Like, where's the link in the bio going to take them to? Any new music? Any new endeavors that they can know about? Let us know.
So, man, you can check out my link tree. I have it right there on my bio. You can see everything that there is about me. If you wanted to buy and purchase, you know, the little NFT project I had going on, or if you want to join the Discord, so I'm teaching about syncing and placements as well. That's in my Discord. And or if you simply just wanted to hear my music, my album that I dropped this last September. It's been like, honestly, one of the craziest projects, man, that I felt, you know, that I've ever done. So if you wanted to hear my style, you know, go ahead, check my album out, see features I've done, see videos I've done, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all like a big growing brand. Half of it's yours, half of it's mine. You know, so like that's where we gonna take it, bro. You know, that's where it is, man. So yeah, for sure.
Hell of a conversation, y'all. My man is. If you need media training, go see Bam Keith. I bet you he got that lot for you. Hey, appreciate you, sir. Love yourself like you love the world. Do something to earn your place in the world this week. Thank you so much. You have a good one. Peace, y'all. One.